Hi guys, and welcome to this video on the new moon in Aquarius that happens on the 11th of February 2021 at 5 minutes past 7 in the evening, and that's based on London time. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. The chart you see next to me, that's a snapshot of the sky at the moment this new moon is going to happen at 5 minutes past 7. I'm going to have a look at what the planets are doing, how they interact with one another, what energy that brings up, and how you can use that energy to your advantage. So the chart is about a new moon. A new moon happens every 29.5 days, and it's when the sun and the moon conjunct. They blend their energies together. The moon goes pitch black. It recharges its batteries. It pulls loads of energy in from the sun, and it gets that pioneering energy going. How can I move forward? What can I do to exercise control in my life? What can I do to create? So it's really about planting seeds of intention. So the moon is what happens for you spiritually, emotionally, what makes you feel comfortable. The sun is what happens for you consciously, what energizes you and what makes you feel alive. So the fact that these two are joined means that the dialogue between your feelings and your mind is really effective, and you understand yourself very well. So what you want on a conscious level and what you desire on a subconscious level, those two things are perfectly aligned, and that's why it is such a pioneering time, because you have the energy, all of your energy kind of comes together, and you're able to use it to generate this fire, this new beginning, this jumping off place where you can move ahead. The moon is at 23 degrees in Aquarius. 2 and 3 is 5, so that's freedom, and Aquarius is the sign of the humanitarian. It's known as the water bearer, so often people think that Aquarius has to do with water. It doesn't. It's an air sign, which is a masculine element. It concerns itself with decisions, communication, thinking, education, learning, teaching. Aquarius is about the human family. It wants to do something which is really meaningful. It wants to leave a legacy behind. It wants to be of service. In numerology, the master number 11 is strongly associated with Aquarius in astrology because it's the same vibration. It's really, how can I use my experience, my intellect, my ability to do things, to be competent, and how can I show other people how to do that? How can I empower others through education, information? How can I give of myself? How can I bring people together and get them to see the same thing? Or how can I get people to care about the same thing? And let's all do something. We're all in this together. It's that sense of unity and the human family. So with the moon being at 23 degrees in Aquarius, on this day, freedom is going to come from other people, or the things that make you feel good, and the things that make you feel like you're living the day to the max and you're doing everything that is available to you, is really interacting with other people a lot, opening yourself up to information, generating your own content, and really getting a bit of variety in your life when it comes to the people you listen to, the people you speak to, the things you watch, the things you read, what you open yourself up to. So it's a great new start to learn something for yourself that can really change the way your life looks, because you gain a new skill. Or you may get to a point where it's, do you know what, I've been learning about this for 20 years. I think it's now time for me to give something back and to educate other people and to share some of my wisdom. It could be you embracing chaos and saying, I don't know what the future holds, but I really sense that there are things in my life which I haven't grown into yet, and I really want to dedicate myself to finding those new areas, those new homes that I'm going to build for myself in future. So on an emotional level, you know that there's information floating around, that if you grab onto that information, it will give you more freedom in your life. If you're an investment banker and you're really, really skilled in that field, then you have a much better chance of getting a job in that career and earning a living with it and getting a house and being able to provide for yourself and other people. If you have no skills and qualifications in any area, then it's going to be much harder for you to find work. And if you do find work, then it's going to be work that doesn't pay as well because the specific skill set is not required. So the moon really reminds you that you have God-given skills and talents. All of us do. We're all born with something that we can use to get into that sweet spot of life and to do something that really ticks all the internal boxes. I love to talk to people. I like to use information. I like to study, whatever it is for you. I like to heal other people. I like to exercise. It's that inkling, this feeling like, hey, something's coming up on my radar today. And if you pay attention to that thing on your radar, beep, 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 and claim it, it's really going to open up your life. So the service you can do, first and foremost, is to yourself. Charity begins at home, because you can really empower yourself through information and then share that with other people and help other people. The sun is at 23 degrees in Aquarius as well, obviously, because they're sitting together. So the sun, think of it as your solar plexus chakra. It's what energizes you. And that not only gives you this little underlying feeling that there's an opportunity kind of sliding in your way. It's like when you go to a sushi bar, those conveyor belts? It's like, oh, the sashimi is coming this way. It's like a feeling. With the sun being at the same degree, in the same sign, on a conscious, practical, competent, experiential human level, you're really able to enjoy the freedom you've already got and to dip into this pool of resource you've got via other people, and to listen and to learn and to communicate. But it's going to feel much more inspirational, and the things that you hear really kind of make an impact, and you decide to do something with it. So it's not that there's so much happening externally that you're just buzzing with excitement, and that, like you're standing in Times Square in New York and people are running around, and it's just so exciting to be part of this major, this energy, this vibrant kind of energy. This is more about the vibrant energy coming from within you. So you may overhear something that isn't all that earth-shattering or thrilling, but it kind of makes an impression on you. And it triggers something in you, it gives you an idea, and it's that idea that really inspires you. And that gives you the drive to move forward and to do something new. So you feel it, you know that there's something good coming, and you also see it, hear it, read it, feel it, analyze it, smell it, remember it, whatever it is. You won't miss this opportunity because you're paying attention. Your feelings will guide you in the right direction. And if this not eternal, well, it is eternal, but internal bell goes off, ding, 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 something just kind of really, really resonates with you, then pay attention to that, because it can open your life as it is at the moment, and it can give you the opportunity to escape if you want to leave everything behind and do something completely different, or to progress, to build on what you've already got. Ultimately, it's your freedom, and it's the ability to choose again and to do something different. So then we've got this huge stellium, and I always spell this word because whenever I mention it, people ask about it. A stellium in astrology is when 3 or more planets are sitting together and they blend their energy together in a really powerful way. It's stellium, and it just means like a cluster of planets, okay? We've got Pallas Athena at 21 degrees in Aquarius next to this new moon. And that is really, wow, the vision I get is like the Valkyries kind of riding in with the experience of humanity on some scrolls and some books, your ancestors coming in, all of the voices that encourage you to speak and to live your purpose and to articulate what it is you're feeling and thinking. They kind of come riding in and they support you and they encourage you to express yourself, to open your mouth, to share your ideas, to write, whatever format you use to get your point across. Pallas Athena really gives you that warrior goddess energy that says, yes, these ideas will lead to freedom. Please do something with them now. Now, now, now. Not tomorrow, now. Mercury is also next to Pallas Athena and the moon and the sun. It's in retrograde at the moment until the 20th of February. Mercury is the communication planet, and in Aquarius it's pretty comfortable because it's able to exchange ideas quickly. With it being in retrograde, things may not be exactly as they seem. So it's important that you double check everything, that you use your critical faculties to look at something and say, hey, does this make sense? Like if the tax people write to you and say, do you know what, we owe you 10 grand and you only paid £500 worth of tax, then maybe look at that and say, maybe I shouldn't accept this, even though it's great news. Maybe it'll catch up to me later on. Okay, so Mercury in retrograde really requires you to double check everything and not to assume anything and to jump to conclusions. And with this stellium, I really think that is an opportunity. I don't think Mercury retrograde in this case is a liability as much as it is an asset. Because when Mercury goes retrograde, it forces you to look at things differently. Okay, so if you've got a routine going and Mercury goes retrograde, then maybe something breaks or something becomes more difficult and you're forced to sidestep that and to use a different format or to bring something else into your schedule. And with this new moon, which is all about new beginnings, Mercury retrograde works really well because it's asking you to look at things with new eyes and to say, do you know what, everything's run swimmingly in the past and you haven't even had to pay attention. Now things do require your attention. So that kind of turns you on a little bit in the sense of, okay, I need to actually wake up and look at this. And that means that the energies that are generated and the ideas that you get really aren't missed. You're paying attention to them, you're looking at them clearly, effectively, and because you're open-minded, you have to check everything twice or 3 times. If something new does come in and it inspires you and it gives you this sense of freedom, then really run with it and go for it. Venus is at 12 degrees in Aquarius, so information and other people are everything. You really care. You see the best in other people. You want to do something selflessly. And I really like that, because if you get a wonderful idea which allows you to help other people in a way that's selfless, I guarantee you that you'll get something out of that. Because the best things we can give are the things which we give freely. And in my experience, when you give freely, then you receive freely as well. You'll get something good back. So it doesn't mean you have to become Mother Teresa, or the next Gandhi. But you have a talent, a skill that you can use to make other people's lives better. And in turn, it will make your own life better. Plus, it kind of elevates you and it raises your frequency to take you out of that place of, other people aren't trustworthy and why should I care when no one cares about me and blah, 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 all that negative stuff. And you just get to a point where you say, I'm skilled, I'm here for a reason, why not use that to help myself and other people? And that's a great place to be in, because it's not needy or clawing or suffocating. It really allows you to breathe and grow and other people around you to do the same. So it's fabulous. 12 is 3 is communication, new beginnings. So thinking, speaking, being conscious and working with information, trying to make sense of it, trying to get your head around things that have been unclear. That's really what's going to thrill you, and that's what you're going to be good at here on the 11th of Feb. Jupiter at 12 degrees in Aquarius as well. Act with love and good luck will follow. Saturn at 6 degrees in Aquarius. You really have the opportunity to build something here that is going to be security in your own life. So you're not doing something to help yourself here, really. You're thinking about the human family and how you can contribute. And the irony is that because you're being totally selfless, you actually end up with something that serves you. And that's, in my experience, that's usually how it happens. When you scrape and claw and try and get for yourself, that's when everything scatters and you usually end up by yourself. It's like an extended way of looking at that saying, laugh and the world laughs with you, cry and you cry alone. If you grab and try and steal and scrimp, then everyone goes running and no one wants anything to do with it. If you're abundant and giving and you feel like you want to educate other people, it's like a giant smile. Then other people just come and say, okay, let's listen and see what this is. So we've got a stellium consisting of Saturn, Jupiter, Venus, Mercury, Pallas Athena, the Moon and the Sun, all in Aquarius. So we've got 7 planets here in Aquarius. And I like that because a lot of the energy combines in Aquarius, and it really gives you a sense of peace. And like most of the things that conflict internally today make sense. It's like, oh, we're all on the same page. That's really the first thing I got when I looked at this chart. I looked at that huge stellium and I was like, wow, so much Aquarius energy. This is really a great day to get married, or to call it a truce with someone else, or to be a teacher, or to educate, or to see someone else's point of view, to heal, to understand the past, to come to terms with it, to accept it, to move on, to move forward. Remember also that Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. It's an outer planet. It's the planet associated with chaos and miracles and the unexpected. And it's really that thing that comes out of the blue. And Aquarius is about saying, you know what, I am a fragile being. I've been hurt, I have loved, I've had good times, I've had bad times. I'm not focusing on where I have been. I'm going to focus on how I can detox, give myself a fresh start, and how I can move ahead. Because I don't know what miraculous thing is going to come my way, but I've got to be on the path moving forward if I want to stumble into those things. If I'm constantly just going down memory lane, I'm just going to bump into things which have already happened. So Aquarius really opens you up to the things that you can't manifest because you can't imagine them. Manifestation is something that most people watching this video are going to be clear about, because it's a new age kind of staple. Think positively and you will generate positive things. Some people take it too far and make it about guilt, and it's like, oh, something bad happened to you. You must have thought negatively, bad boy, bad girl. It's not what it's about. It's just about trying to operate at the frequency you want to be at, and trying to, elevate yourself to be positive. That does have an influence on how other people will react to you and how the world reacts to you. The manifestation can be done by visualizing or doing a vision board, and going into a magazine, cutting out the things that you want, sticking them down and actually seeing them, to kind of remind yourself that things that could be can come into your life in a real sense. And most people focus on partners and houses and cars and beaches and holidays and things like that. And the most marvelous things that you can't imagine, those are governed by Uranus, because they are so transformative and life-changing that you couldn't have planned. So open yourself up to what could be. You'll get ideas and information that you never saw coming, and that really, really gives you that pioneering energy, because it's exciting and fun. Pluto is also next to that stellium. It's at 25 degrees in Capricorn. So it's not part of the stellium because it's in a bit different sign. But Pluto in Capricorn is asking you to get creative so that you can change your circumstances, that you can really transform the bones of your life, the structures, the roots of your experience. So again, that doesn't grab you and hold on to you. That says, go and change, be free. It's very liberating. This is a very light, positive, fun, future-oriented energy that you can really enjoy. And again, I want to mention that it doesn't generate a lot of internal conflict. The different parts of you are holding hands, they're in alignment. So if you're someone who's terribly conflicted all the time, this isn't going to be the day where you're at your most conflicted. So if you can't make a decision because it's just, round and round and round, then look at that today. Oh, they've started drilling now. How great. Okay. So, yeah, if you're usually all over the place, then this new moon will allow you to focus and to actually devote yourself to things that you want to. Okay, the new moon then forms certain relationships, okay? I'm sorry about this, I hope they stop. So the new moon, the sun and the moon together, they form a square with Mars at 18 degrees in Taurus. And Mars at 18 degrees in Taurus is interesting because that is really being able to take action that has a heavy influence. It's being willful and saying, I'm going to hop on this chariot. It's like the chariot in the tarot. It's like, I have this desire, I'm going to go get it, I'm going to go do it by myself. It's my energy, I'm going to use it in a practical sense to achieve goals, to Go on a quest, I'm going to do that for myself. The 18 degrees is interesting because 1 and 8 is 9, that's spirituality and completion. And that again takes the energy and it sources it from within. It's like the moon in Aquarius. It's your love for other people, your desire to communicate. That's what fuels Mars, and it says, okay, do something with this information. So it's not that you're on an ego power trip, but Mars is pushing you, saying, okay, you've got all this information, the sun and the moon align, you're totally clear on what you're doing. Please stop procrastinating and actually do it. Go, 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 go. And Mars can be a bit pushy, but today he's being really helpful in saying, take your spiritual ideas and translate them into something practical. Which is lovely. The new moon then semi-squares. I'll just use my little eyeballs here. It semi-squares Ceres at 26 degrees in Pisces. Ceres is abundance and prosperity. It's like a cornucopia of wealth showering you with everything that you ever wanted. 26 degrees in Pisces, there's an abundance of spiritual information and energy. Ceres sits next to Neptune, the water planet of dreams and intuition. That's in the sign that it rules Pisces, so that really opens things up for you. And then we've got Chiron at 6 degrees in Aries sitting nearby. So that is really interesting. Self-will isn't as good as simply relaxing and listening to your own feelings. And what I mean by that is, if you say, you know what, I'm part of this club and we go for lunch every day and I want everyone else to really admire me, so I need to buy myself something really expensive that everyone can just love, because this is a very materialistic group of friends. That's a desire that you decide, and then you go out and you try and make it happen to get this watch or jewelry, okay? Something that comes from within is when you approach the day and you say, okay, I may want to impress the people at lunch and whatever, but instead of immediately jumping on those bandwagons, I'm going to sit back and ask myself what I'm interested in information-wise, how I can help other people, because that's really what I want to do. So rather than impress the people at lunch, how can I help the people at lunch? That's going to kind of shift your focus a little bit. It aligns you with this new moon energy, and that then gives you these amazing ideas that you can use to be of service to others and yourself. The source, Neptune and Ceres, fire up your imagination, and it really allows you to understand things which you haven't understood in the past, to become aware of dreams that you couldn't have dreamt of in the past. And the Uranus energy means that it pushes those things in so strongly that you can almost see them and manifest them, create them, do something with them. Black Moon Lilith and Uranus sit next to Mars. Mars was pushing you, remember? Uranus at 7 degrees in Taurus really makes you creative and open-minded. You're able to accept things which may have been out of your reach in the past. Black Moon Lilith is the only thing here that might put a damper on things by saying, do you know what? You may have all these great ideas and you want to do something with them, but don't bother because you're not that talented anyway. So Black Moon Lilith tries to put you off by making you feel untalented and not good enough. You are talented enough, you are good enough. The reason Black Moon Lilith is saying don't express yourself, don't do anything, because it knows that when you use these new ideas, you can really put yourself on a new path. And the ego wants you to be mildly miserable, your whole life. So it doesn't want you to do things that are good for you. And when you're close to success or achieving, it often puts a spanner in the works to try and derail you. And today it tries to derail you through low self-esteem and saying you are not good enough. Heard that before, thanks for sharing, I'm going to do it anyway. You know, that I'm not good enough, if any of us took that seriously, we'd never do anything again. Because there's always going to be someone out there who's better and smarter, and I mean, that's no great insight, is it? There's always someone ahead of you, so you're good enough for you. And there are other people who will resonate with you at whatever level you're at, so please honor that. You've been given something, don't just chuck it because someone else may be better. No. Okay, So let's see, what else does the moon connect with? It forms that semi, then the square, and that is it. Yeah, what's interesting is that if you tilt your head a little bit, you'll see a big red square in this chart. It connects the planet Neptune in Pisces, then it forms a square with the North Node in Gemini, then another square with the rising in Virgo, and the part of fortune in Virgo. That's that X-Man symbol here on the rising sign in Virgo. And then also with the South Node in Sagittarius at 16 degrees. And what's that? A Grand Cross. 4 squares connecting like this to create a big red square. That's called a Grand Cross. And that is friction that doesn't go anywhere. It just goes round and round and round and bounces from one corner to the other. So on one hand, you want to do something with all this imaginative spiritual energy that you're being given. You'll want to communicate it creatively, but you'll also want to listen and hear what other people are saying, because on an intuitive level, you feel that's what's going to lead you somewhere. And that brings me back to other people and the public and groups of people, institutions. Aquarius is concerned with all of that. Aquarius doesn't sit at home in its room and read. Aquarius stands on a pulpit and gives a speech, or it's in a technology research facility trying to, replace the light bulb with something more energy efficient. It's always working either with other people or for other people. And it's not this solo experience. And the Grand Cross is trying to make this a solo experience by saying, you have come a long way. Listen to the things that are out there today, because they can fuel you and they can inspire you to move even further. Use your imagination at the same time and go, 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 go. That's really the push, to go, to move ahead, to keep going, to progress in your life, to move forward. And that is the one thing in this chart that actually is contradictory to that huge stellium in Aquarius, which is all about you are the people. You're one of billions of people. There is no separation. You're here to be one with everyone. So I think the way to combine that is to listen to other people and your intuition, but not only to have the info come inward, to try and spin all the different plates and to say, I'm listening to other people, my intuition, but I'm also talking, expressing myself and giving something back. Great timing. So yeah, it's about really staying on your toes a little bit. If that Grand Cross hadn't been there, guys, then I would have said this is a really fundamentally harmonious period where you see yourself as one with others. And that's what really inspires you and makes everything wonderful. But with this Grand Cross, there's now the desire to insert yourself into groups of people. And for that, you have to generate your own content. You kind of feel like you have to pull that from somewhere. And the irony is that it's simply by being around other people that you can listen and speak. You don't have to go to your room and make yourself an expert and then share that. It's not black and white. It's the university, the research facility where you're getting your information from and where you're putting the information into is the same place. It's other people. It's the human family. So as long as you connect on the world and your life as it interacts with other people and circumstances and places and things, that's really where the success lies. It's that space between you and others, the world. It's the in-between bit that connects you. And that's really where the good luck comes in. And that's where you can do something that, you see, if you're in that in-between place and you get an idea, like, okay, build this rocket that can take tourists to the moon. You take the idea, and because it's in the in-between place, it then affects all the other people who will take the rocket, and it affects you, because it's in the middle of this spectrum. It has to go both ways. Others, self. And that's where you are. So anything that you do for other people is going to come back to you. So make sure that you are thinking positively. You are thinking along the lines of, how can I progress and how can I help other people? That's all you need to do to experience positive results in both areas. Don't make it all about others. Don't make it all about you. make it about everything in between, myself in connection with others, in conjunction with other people. How can I pioneer something for myself and others? That's really the key to the success today. So that's it. That's what I get for this new moon in Aquarius. I'm just double checking to make sure I haven't missed anything here. Don't think I have. Oh, have I? I think I have. The moon also trines, yes, the midheaven in Gemini and the North Node. It's 16 degrees in Gemini. So, it makes you far more confident when it comes to expressing yourself than you usually would be. And it not only makes you more confident, it also makes you more creative. So it's really the time to share what you're thinking, to give us your take on things. Super important. Don't keep quiet and in the background. You have something to contribute here. And that, I think, is it. Yep. Okay, so that's what I get for you for this new moon in Aquarius. I hope you have a lovely day. If you would like a personal reading with me, then please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. In my personal readings, I use astrology, tarot, and numerology. The same way I drew up this chart, all I need to draw up your specific birth chart is your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. Once I have those things, I can draw up your birth chart and I can analyze it the way I did this chart and see what you're all about, what your strengths and weaknesses are, your life purpose, moving, relationships, love life, children, health, anything you've got questions about, we can look at. So if you would like to talk to me, then go to the website and click on book your reading on the front page to order your reading with me. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and share the video online. Have an amazing new moon in Aquarius, and I'll speak to you for the daily tarot readings on this channel, the weekly horoscopes, these special videos on the new moon and the full moon that I do every month, and also the yearly horoscopes for each sign of the zodiac. Have a look at those if you haven't seen them already. Have a lovely day, and I'll speak to you soon.